Hi, my name is Alex Browsell. I'm the editor on M&M Global, and I'm delighted to say I'm joined by WPP Chief Executive Sir Martin
Along
Sorrell.
with 100,000 other people.
With 100,000
Very
other
noisy
people.
in here, isn't it?
It is. I mean, what have you made of the Congress so
Well,
far?
I've only just got here. I just got off the plane overnight from New York. I'm only here for the day. I've been here before several times, but I used to come here when it was, I've been here when it was a much, much smaller, more intimate.
Yeah.
I always remember I came here in the late 90s, I think it was, to talk to the GSMA about the need to pull together operating systems and get one operating system. And now we're seeing consolidation take us more and more. And I guess there will be more consolidation. I mean, I know when I got into the hotel to change this morning, I turn on the TV and they're on Squawk Box, shouldn't mention it on here. You know, they're interviewing executives from Orange about what's going to happen with Bouygues and in France and elsewhere. So interesting times. But I remember the big issue then was getting commonality and common systems and trying to move to one advertising system that would work more effectively. But this is an amazing trade show. There's 100,000 people, not quite as big as CES with 150,000, but getting close to it.
Yeah, and obviously you mentioned consolidation, but yet it seems to grow. There's more stands than ever, and
Yes.
and that complexity is helping clients navigate that complexity.
Yeah,
key role
some
for
people,
agencies.
I think one of our competitors describes it as confusion. I don't know whether clients like to be told that they're confused. I think complexity is fragmentation, obviously in the technology area, particularly in digital. I mean, the big opportunity for us at WPP is to leverage our $80 billion of buying power on behalf of our clients to make sure that they get not just the most effective, the best work, creative work and planning, etc., but also the most efficient, the best pricing. And I think we can do that. And our models with Xaxis and our move with AppNexus as our sort of operating system gives us that third force. I might even argue a fourth force, because I think in addition to Google and Facebook, the AOL, Verizon, Microsoft Nexus, which we're seeing strong growth. Google is a $4 billion customer for us, or I guess we're the customer on behalf of our clients, and Facebook is $1 billion, Yahoo's about $430 million, and AOL will this year be around $250 million. So it's a sort of third force, and I would say that Xaxis, AppNexus is a fourth force, and getting some balance into the system is critically important, and we've seen more regulatory moves by the EU. So the technology piece is important. The data piece, here we're on the Kantar stand here, which is 25% of WPP. So media is 25%, data investment management is 25%. The data piece and our investment in Rentrak and Comscore, what's critically important, and this issue is going to move up the agenda, I think, for the ANA and others. Our second largest client, Unilever, in the person of Keith Weed, who's the CMO, has raised this issue about the 3 V's, value, viewability, and validation, all really resonating around the measurement issue. And some of our frenemies are flexible on this and are responsive, some are not. And this will move up the agenda. I mean, both Google and Facebook, I think, are going to have to step up to the fact that our clients are not content with attributing a view for 3 seconds with half the time the sound turned off. And then the hurdles, of course, for online are very different to offline. Online is down here in terms of a hurdle of measurement. Offline is up here. And when Philippe Doman, for example, at Viacom, complains about the fact that Nielsen doesn't measure Nickelodeon or MTV effectively, he's right direction. He may not be quite right to where he wants to get to, but he's directionally strongly right, I think, in that. So measurement, data is second, and then finally content. So the things that we're doing with Vice, we're doing with Fullscreen, with Media Rights Capital, which are bringing you the fourth series of House of Cards in the next few days, are really important. So technology, data, content, and this conference really emphasizes the importance of it. And mobile is a totally new world. You know, it's not, I think many of our clients think of it as being an additional channel that they have to optimize and allocate. There is an argument that it's a very different world and a very unique world and a very unique channel that changes not just the way that you communicate with consumers, but the way they live their lives, how they buy things, their patterns of behavior, and therefore all those things, technology, data, and content, become critically important. So, you know, I see this conference as being vindication yet again of our strategy, which is based around. And if you look at the RECMA figures on, you know, on Media Tsunami so far, you know, post Sony, we're now plus 1.5 billion. The biggest loser is minus 3.5 billion. So you've seen a $5 billion swing between the leading group, ourselves, and the worst performing group in those media reviews. So we are seeing significant changes, which I think are driven by those three, that holy trinity, if I can put it that way, of technology, data, and content.
Yeah, and final question really, and given so many announcements around virtual reality, this particular around Facebook and Samsung, obviously HTC and others, to what extent do you think VR might start to disrupt the marketing and media model, or are we quite far away from that still?
What, virtual reality?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, when I was at Sundance this year, I sampled for 20 minutes. I went to Mars. I drove the Mars rover around Mars. I took off in my defenestrated capsule, you know, with the flapping tarpaulin. I went into space. I punctured my spaceship and guided myself. I get vertigo on a deep pile carpet, so I was pretty scared when I looked down, and I was caught in space by the woman who'd come out of the spaceship and made it back to Earth with Matt Damon. It was fantastic. Now, some of my colleagues say it's similar to 3D. I did develop a headache after 20 minutes, but we're in the beginnings of this. The key issue is the software. The hardware will develop, and we're just at the beginning, and it will get super sophisticated. But I think it's really, really important, and I think the whole virtual reality opportunity is colossal. Now, you use the word disruption. I don't see it as being a disruption. I see it as being an opportunity. Obviously, if you don't do something about an opportunity, it becomes a threat. But I think it opens up so many new vistas in terms of travel, of sport, of entertainment. You know, I went, Chris Milk did 2 pieces of software, the Bono song Around the World, but the really impressive one, I mean that was impressive, but the really impressive one was the refugee camp. And that, you know, anybody who hasn't done that should do it. Incredible experience. Obviously, from a purpose point of view, it was really important too. The problem will be developing appropriate software. And I thought it was very interesting what Ridley Scott did with The Martian. I don't know whether the whole film was done in virtual reality, but as I say, I did my 20 minutes in my shaking chair and took off from Mars. It was incredible. So I think about the sporting applications, the entertainment, you know, for the Olympic movement, for Formula One, for the World Cup. I mean, these will be events for the Oscars. You know, these will be events, the Grammys, the MTV Awards. It'll be fantastic.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, thank you so much for your time today. Really appreciate it.
Pleasure.
Great to speak.
Thanks, Alex.
Thank you.